This is the all-new Hyundai Tucson. Now, this is not a nameplate that Indians will find strange because the Tucson brand has been in India for almost 2 decades. It's gone through several generation changes, but now in the 4th generation, I find it quite attractive. I find it quite appealing. I think I like the geometric shapes, those hard, rough edges that it's got. It looks quite attractive to me. This is one of the older cars for that matter. It hasn't come to India yet, but we've seen some of these inspirations on some of the other cars, the Venue for instance, the Creta, and even for that matter the i20. We've seen some of that language extending onto those other cars. Now here's an interesting element. This portion right out here are the lights. These are parametric lights. It uses several micro mirrors effectively to give you great visibility or other illumination for that matter, as well as the smart lights which will do various stuff, as in it'll dip or show a high beam depending on the driving conditions, if there are cars oncoming, various conditions like that. Very nice looking, very interesting looking front end for that matter, quite aggressive, very strong character. You're not going to miss this car coming in your rear view mirrors. You can look at the side profile, and that again is a very aggressive look. A lot of edgy design work, styling work on the fenders, especially the front fender and the rear fender. We've got these pretty nice looking alloys. Hyundai has done better. We've seen better alloys on the Venue, but nonetheless you've got fairly large tire profiles on this 235/60 R18. These are 18-inch alloys and tires. This is the sort of body work that we've not seen. Very strong shoulder line. Of course, lots of character lines again over here as well. Moving on towards the rear, it's got this nice coupe-like silhouette which flows down into the tailgate, even though it's an SUV, but gives it a lot of character, gives it a lot of sportiness for that matter. Moving on to the rear, again, unique signature element. We've seen this extending from tail to tail on the Venue also, but now this is essentially where that design got inspired from. This is the Tucson tail end to the HTRAC. Now the HTRAC effectively is the all-wheel drive platform. That's what the Tucson is. This is an all-wheel drive platform. Torque delivered to both the front and the rear wheels with optimization between the front and the rear wheels for that matter. It's also got a variety of driving modes, mud, sand, snow. So the Tucson should be quite capable, and it's been capable in the past, but it continues to be capable now as well. Should be interesting when we get a full drive in it, the time to do a proper road test review. We'll come back to you with more information on what it has to deliver in that aspect. Right now, let me take you inside the Tucson and talk to you a little bit about the design and what you get inside the car. The interior of the Tucson, well, fantastic place to be in, especially because of this two-tone shade that it's got. Though I don't like this bright shade, I'm not fond of these bright shades because they tend to get dirty quite often. But still, nonetheless, as the visual appearance goes, it's a very attractive cabin place to be in. I do like how the black highlights are ensured, are kept to the upper levels, and you've got this nice chrome finish, this lovely flow to the dashboard. I love how it cascades down into the central control panel over here with this large touch screen, and of course those controls for the climate control as well. Very thoughtful design, looks quite smart, very attractive for that matter. Also like the way functionality has been spread across the center console, because you've got the seat ventilation controls right here at your fingertips. You don't need to extend your hand, it's just right there below the armrest, and I think that's very good placement. We've got the drive select modes in here. These allow the car to switch between those terrain modes, which you'll see right there on the LED instrument panel. There you go, normal, sport, and between smart, eco, various modes that you would get into. You can also select the terrain you want to drive it on, or the kind of mode you want to drive it on, whether you want sporty performance or you want economical performance for that matter. All in all, I think this is a fantastic cabin to be in, very interesting place to be in. But let me tell you more about the rear seat. Let's hop in over there because there are a few interesting features over there as well. So this is the rear cabin space for the Tucson, and as you can see, there's an ample amount of room both to place your feet in. Keep in mind, this is in length, it's about 4.6 meters long, but it also means you get an enormous amount of room inside. I'm quite surprised to see the leg space essentially, and the knee space as well. Also, plenty of headroom over here, really a lot of space for the rear seat occupants. Width, I'm not entirely sure if a third person will be very comfortable, but a relatively flat floor. You still got that small hump because of the four-wheel drive or the all-wheel drive powertrain. You got the differential and the exhaust system going through there, so that tunnel is right there. It intrudes a bit into the cabin space, but I'm hoping it should not be too uncomfortable. I was expecting to see, though, climate control functions for the rear seat passengers, at least blower speed controls, but those aren't there. These are controlled from the front itself. armrest right there with cup holders. Fairly Spartan in a way for the rear seat passengers, but where safety is concerned, you've got ISOFIX points for child seats, for child seat restraints, and everything else that you would want. Multiple airbags as well. Let me tell you a little bit more about the powertrains in the Tucson. You've got both the petrol and the diesel powertrain. Both are 2-liter engines, and the petrol is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission, whereas the diesel gets mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Should have good performance, but of course, it's with that all-wheel drive powertrain, the intent is to give it that go-anywhere capability as well as better dynamics on the road. More, of course, will follow when we come back to you with a full road test of the new Hyundai Tucson. So do follow us on YouTube, do watch us on CNBC TV 18, and of course, like what we have to do, and keep following us on our social media handles as well, on Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter.